now singing is such medicine for me because, I just allow myself, it's not to sing to perform, it's to sing, to enjoy, it's to sing to connect, it's sing to express, right? It's sing to alchemize pain and suffering into art,
Welcome back, everyone. This is the Superbloom Podcast. When we come together to share our stories where we are, as we are, we help each other wake up what is hiding beneath the surface in our lives and in our hearts. It's time to enjoy this precious life. So today, I'm going to bring on Raquel. Welcome. I am so excited to have you here. So Raquel DaRowe's journey since leaving her corporate profession has led her through training as a hypnotherapist, rapid transformational therapy practitioner, life coach, classically trained chef. But at the heart of your work, she is helping people live a soul-aligned, extraordinary life. And I'm just curious what that means to you, like just to start out there. But welcome. Yay.
Hello. So excited to be here. You have such a beautiful voice. I was just listening to you in that intro, and I'm like, oh, I love your voice.
Thank you.
So what that means to me is really helping bring awareness to these blind spots that create this like mental and energetic prison, like confinement, that essentially block us from our true essence, like our soul, like our just soul's expression, right? And the way I sort of explain it is like it's being like over identified with the ego, just like part of our identity that was shaped in a certain way. And so I just help bring awareness to, these like inner narratives and these constraints that literally like mold and shape our identity. And so when people can see, another way of me saying it is like, I help you sort of see and understand like what you're not or who you're not in order to truly like connect with who you are. And it's just this journey of like knowing thyself on such a deep, intimate way and like level that, at least for me in my journey, the more I get to know myself, the more I love myself. Like it's such an expansive, beautiful journey of really like understanding all of like the coping mechanisms and behavioral adaptations and sort of these sort of things that I used to look at as like undesirable qualities, right? And when I can trace it back to really like get why, the who, the where, the what, the why, it's so beautiful because typically like it just arose from past hurt and this deep compassion, this deep understanding. It's like I can really be with myself. I can be with anything. And for me, that journey has been so expansive. It has been so beautiful to really like know myself on such a deep level. It reminds me of this African proverb: if there's no enemy within, the enemy without can do no harm. I'll just let that sink in for a second. Right? It's powerful.
I was just going to say it back. Like if there's no enemy
Enemy within, the enemy without can do no harm. And I can just explain what that means to me.
Yes.
And what that means to me, because a lot of times we get triggered, we get activated by something someone says or some circumstance. And typically, if we're willing to look within, I also say life is a mirror. That's not my saying. It just, it's just part of the universal laws, right?
Yeah.
And when we're willing to sort of see what seed or what inner wound is being poked by like what someone said, or what is being mirrored to me, the enemy is essentially like, if I don't already have that belief or that the way I view myself, if it's in alignment in some capacity, vibrationally, energetically, what someone said, if it is in alignment, it activates me because it's like poking and touching at like a wound that I haven't integrated.
Interesting. Yes. Yes.
This is the way I see it. Yeah. Right. And why I find this so powerful. And if I have done the work and have integrated, all of these inner woundings, right? I'm not enough. I'm not worthy. It's not safe to be me. For me, it's like I'm misunderstood. I'm insignificant. I'm a disappointment. Like a lot of these things that I didn't consciously say to myself, but they were very much like made up the fabric of my identity and based on like past events where I was hurt and didn't, have the capacity to really like make sense of a situation. If I'm willing to look at the depths of like my pain and my suffering and see, what did I make that mean about myself? I made it mean that I'm not worthy, I'm a disappointment, all the things, right? Is it true? And it's sort of mapping it back. No, it's not true. It's a story and the meaning that I created based on an experience, right? It's just been so profound for me to be able to go back and map back and bring light, bring awareness to these like massive blind spots so I could see it's not true. I could see, I made it up. And what's really important to me is not to negate the human experience, how terrifying, how difficult, how challenging it was. So it's holding both. It's holding and really embracing my humanity, right? If there's, not that belief system or energetics like within ourselves, and if someone says something or does something or like some sort of circumstance arises that could sort of activate it, it's been integrated. So it's not being poked and activated when someone says something. The work is truly like knowing yourself so deeply, working through these inner woundings. So it's not an area that can be like poked and activated. Like I'm grounded in myself, secure. I know who I am. I'm not allowing others to determine who I am. Right. It's essentially this beautiful journey and process of helping people bring to awareness of like who they're not, right? You're not, your ego, you're not.
Yeah, when you're asking, is this true? You can say no, or you can say
For
yes.
sure. To help them really see how there is what happened. And then there are stories and meanings that we create based from like what happens. And I'm happy to give an example of like
Yeah, I'm like thinking of
concrete.
for you, or even just to tie it back to this transition for you from kind of where you are today from this corporate world. Like, was there a moment where you realized this isn't true, like as far as the work you were doing?
It was well before sort of,
Okay.
it's
Okay.
actually what catalyzed and started my journey into
Oh,
deep
beautiful.
self understanding and like wanting to know and really like understand the root of suffering and really also understand freedom, the two spectrums of
Mm,
like, okay, I thought I had everything that I wanted,
yeah.
and yet I'm so unfulfilled. It was around 29 years old. Was engaged to be married. I had a great corporate job. I owned my own home. I just bought my dream car. All of these things, like I had checked the check boxes of what I was like conditioned to believe was success.
Hmm.
And here I found myself so unfulfilled. In my mind, I was like, there must be something wrong with me. So I started going to therapy because I was like, legit,
Hmm.
there must be something wrong with me. Like, how is this so? What came to me just was like a lightning bolt. I actually did not want to move forward with my engagement. I went to therapy and I allowed myself to truly be honest with myself. What do I want? Because for so long, I was in this job, like molded into this being of who I thought I should be. I was doing essentially like being the girl that I thought society and my family and everyone around me thought I should be. I was sort of ruminating. It was like hopelessness, helplessness. Like, what do I do? It was a couple months before our wedding date and just like looping thoughts, looping thoughts.
Ah.
Yeah, it was torturing myself. And finally, this like profound statement, which is so simple, I have a choice, came through.
Mm.
And it hit me unlike, it was just so profound. I was like, oh my God, yes, I do have a choice. And I
Mm.
just realized I had been living in this world where I don't have a choice. I should do this. I must do that. I have to this. And just so much shifted after that. So I ended my engagement.
Wow.
I left corporate. I enrolled in culinary school. I went
Oh.
on this 3-week amazing safari trip with my mom and my sister and my friend. Yeah, just so much shifted, right? Because I was like, oh, whoa, freedom, like amazing. Yes, I have a choice, right? I don't have to be this person who, again, I thought I needed to
Oh,
be,
sounds good.
right?
Yes.
Yes.
And
Um,
how was that for you? Like, was it just easy to have your whole life, everything change like that? Because you were in this new mindset of I'm free, I have a choice? Or were there
yeah,
moments
I mean,
where,
it was for sure like definitely moments of just, yeah, such profound freedom, just
Mm.
really taking
Joy.
action, yeah, and making decisions and choices based on what I wanted, right? And
Mm.
like what brought me joy and enjoyment. Just testing it out. What does it feel like? What does it even feel like to take aligned action from a place of joy and true, like heart-centered decision, right?
Mm.
After culinary school had finished, I was in this space where, I paid for culinary school myself, and the finances started to dwindle a little bit. Fear started to kick in, right?
Mm.
And so then I found myself like going back into old ways and patterns of like, oh, this woman from my previous advertising agency had reached out and she's like, I'm working at this new advertising agency. I really feel like you would love it. It's so different. It's so fun. And I was like,
Mm.
oh, I
The
could do
bait.
this. But oh my goodness. Yeah, I got baited back in, right?
Hmm.
Fear kicked in. I was like, oh,
Yes.
but I'm so good at, like, I know what I'm doing, and it's like a
Then I can
way to
pay off
have
my school.
security. Totally, exactly. It's a way to have security and stability and all of the things. So I ended up taking the job, worked part-time, teaching cooking classes. And so I was like, oh, I have the best of both worlds. I can start experimenting, with teaching cooking classes and take classes that interested me. I ended up enrolling in the Institute for Integrated Nutrition health coaching program.
Mm.
And still, yeah, like it was like very much like still searching, searching for my thing. And it
Hmm.
was the energy of searching, right? Like I wanted to find my purpose. I wanted to find why I'm here. It was very much a journey and and digging into, what makes us who we are, right? And there was just this like wonder and curiosity again around understanding suffering, understanding freedom and like
There's just like a
what it
banana
means.
by your side.
So funny.
Would you like
My
a banana?
daughter.
Beautiful, beautiful.
That's okay. You don't have to eat it. That's all right. Just put it down. It's so funny. She just peeled a banana and she doesn't want to eat it, so
But she can peel a banana.
yeah, she's letting me know that. So funny.
Awesome. You were
Yeah,
in that
so
searching mode,
isn't
and
it
this is beautiful.
totally,
Yeah.
yeah, it was searching for sure. Then I took a life coaching certification
Mm.
and started to on the side, like
On
less
the other side,
on
you've got all these sides to Raquel.
totally less of the culinary and teaching culinary classes
Okay.
and more in the
Yeah.
coaching.
It's like the
Yeah.
next
And it
phase.
was still like I was super passionate about it, still am. It was just for me, I was like, I don't know that I want to make a career out of this.
You told me how to make those kale chips. I
Yeah.
like everything you said. I just like embodied it. I could tell how much you loved it. I forgot that you were trained. Yeah. So,
Yeah. I'm so glad I did it. How do you know if you truly are meant for something or truly enjoy it if you don't try it out? With the coaching, what I found is like, wow, I love this. It's still not my thing
mm,
because I there's something so much deeper for me when I understood the subconscious.
mm,
When I started to understand the power
mm.
and the significance that our subconscious mind like sort of plays in the whole realm
Yes.
of like, thoughts, feelings, behaviors, actions, results, like essentially that cascade of creation. I
Mm,
was like, yes, this is it. And so for me, that journey began with taking this rapid transformational therapy training with Marissa Peer around hypnotherapy, but also like her specific methodology,
mhm,
which combines a lot of different types of therapies. Like hypnosis is like one of the tools, and then many other therapeutic practices are sort of like rolled into
mm.
that. And so then I was like, yes, this feels so much more in alignment and powerful. And then the results I was seeing with my clients were just like so much more profound, actually getting to the root of feeling unworthy, feeling not
Mm.
enough. And yeah, that has sort of just been the journey, bringing in other tools to help enhance that. And for me, I've taken it more from like a spiritual soul path
Mm.
lens, right? And not so much like therapy. It's really again now coming back to like helping people see who they're not, right? You're not
Yeah.
your ego, you're not your beliefs, you're not your thoughts, right? that a lot of people, including myself, for so long was over-identified with,
Can I
right?
just have you repeat that to me? I'll take you are not your thoughts, you are not your ego.
Yeah. Right? And then connect to who we truly are. You cannot help but love yourself when you truly connect to the essence and the truth of who you are. And not from a place of like fixing, or not from a place like I'm not good enough. It's truly from a place of like expansion. Wow, I just feel like my capacity continues to expand and expand and expand. And it's just, I know that it's like it's part of the journey and evolution, and I want to like experience, more, and I want to experience more of myself. I want to experience more of my true essence and my freedom and my, creative potential. And now that has shifted very much into like just exploring, like I get to looking at life like a scavenger hunt, picking up on these like subtle synchronicities and these subtle clues, and listening and saying yes when these clues totally like ignite something, right? And so when I did that recently I decided to take a Reiki class. Never thought that that would be something, right? And it's just follow the breadcrumbs, follow the pangs of joy and enjoyment. And I have no idea where that's going to lead. Who knows? But I know it was like, you need to be there. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I'm just showing up.
Yeah.
So now today, you don't just work one-on-one with people. There's other gatherings and circles. And where are you today in your super blooming? What else is it?
Yeah, so today I work one-on-one. I host monthly women's circles. I host equinox and solstice gatherings. You and I host these really fun full moon dance parties on the beach. I absolutely love group containers because they're so potent and powerful. We learn about ourselves through stories of others, right? Parts of ourselves that may be completely blind, like blind spots, right? When someone actually is authentic and they're open and they share what they've been going through, 9 times out of 10, it can relate. Like, wow,
Yeah,
I can totally see myself
I see
in
that
that
in group.
story, and in that when we allow ourselves to truly be seen and heard and held by others,
Yeah,
it's magic. It's so powerful,
it's
right?
medicine.
It's such medicine. I've just found, especially going to like women's events where it's like we're dancing naked in the rain. I was doing
Yes.
topless yoga, right? Just
Yes,
like,
yes, 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 please.
yeah, just the like level of freedom
Safety and
and
freedom.
like, yeah, ecstasy in terms of just like, wow,
Mm,
like joy, like bliss. There's just something when you have no clothes on. It's just, there's nothing to hide. There's nothing to hide. There's nothing to defend. There's nothing to protect. It's like, this is me.
yeah.
This is me, right? There's just such magic, such medicine in group containers.
And
And so,
singing too. I love your
yes.
voice. You had mentioned mine, but I love that there's song in your circles, but also beyond that too, right? For you.
Yes. So that, we bring in singing, we bring in movement. Yeah. And
Mm,
that for me, movement, dancing, ever since I was younger, both of my parents, my whole family, they were born in Portugal. And so we were always like very much immersed in the culture. And so dance for me was just a way that I expressed myself, because when I was younger, I really like shut down my voice. I just did not feel safe to be myself and safe to be heard and safe to be seen. And so dance for me, I always felt like free. And now singing is such medicine for me because, yeah, I just allow myself, it's not to sing to perform, it's to sing, to enjoy, it's to sing to connect, it's sing to express, right? It's sing to
mm.
alchemize pain and suffering into art, And so
And I love
it's
that your daughter's in your arms. It's like this, she's part of all of this, right? This is her childhood coming with you and being part of this.
for sure.
Mm.
Yeah, she came to the last women's gathering with me.
Oh,
And
wow.
so we did, yeah, song circles, grief circles, all different types of gatherings. And she was there for all of it. Witnessed women naked, us just
Yeah.
being like
The way we were
ourselves, like
born.
100%, right? And it's just, yeah, it's so important in my mind to immerse children in all of it. Yeah. And not look at it. And it was something, that was something I did just have some like trouble integrating, right? Of like being a
Mm.
mom and also work. Like I did look at them as two separate things. And now that I've, with wonder and curiosity of how can I really integrate that, right? How can I really not look at like how I support and how I'm of service, look at that separately as, being a mom, right? And for me, it is a little tricky because, yeah, I have some confidential, private, one-on-one time, right? That
There
is
is.
important to set aside. But there's also administrative stuff and other things that I can make time for with her, and
Yeah.
she can come to my office and play and do crafts while I, just, yeah,
Share
do
about your super bluing.
things.
I love
Totally, exactly.
this.
Yeah, so that has really helped create even more freedom for me, of like not looking at it
Yeah.
separate. When I think back to my childhood, like I spent so much time in my parents' office. It's just for me part of the journey of like, how can
Is
I
this true?
integrate
Yeah.
it? Yeah,
Yeah. What is this belief that I have? I think that, yeah, that's a perfect example of checking in because it's like, she's here in my arm, she's here in my office. How could this not be true?
yeah, that I can make it work.
Yes. And I have experienced that a lot too recently, just that comparison in my mind of what it was supposed to be like in corporate work where it wasn't professional to have your child involved. Or I mean, even the first season of this podcast, you can hear her in the background and it's all good because that was what I was talking about, how to calm the nervous system when your child's cry is, turning it on to this fight or flight mode. What do we do as
Totally.
moms?
It's real life, right? Because it's
Yeah.
like for me, what I found is you can do all the work. Like I can, even with like helping bring awareness to blind spots, it's one thing to have that awareness. The work is the practice. The work is when life happens, can I stay calm? Can I, stay grounded?
Yeah.
It's like, it's actually like all of these instances and circumstances, integrating it and practicing.
So for
That's
you, like, is it in those moments now when you still are checking in, you're growing, you're expanding, your world is still shifting. It sounds like, you're still exploring, and discovering. Are there still moments of checking in and like how do you do it? Like for somebody who feels stuck on autopilot and they
totally.
want to get what's maybe one first small step they could take that's an example of something you still do or whichever is more appropriate to share, but like how do you
Yeah,
help
for
yourself when you
sure.
feel stuck again or moments?
Yeah, totally. It's for me, what like when I say bring awareness to blind spots, it's like bringing awareness to again like the lens in which we view ourselves. So it is like for me one of the massive ones is it's not safe to be me,
Mm.
right? And
Wow.
that was huge when that came to my awareness. And that was I did work with Peter Crone. I
Yes.
coached with him one-on-one. Well, it was in a group container, but he coached me one-on-one and he helped bring awareness to it's not safe to be me,
Mm.
right? And so what I would say is like, and I obviously knew the impact, of that. That was like an example of like the root, the genesis, right? If you find that there's just like, stuckness, that's typically like, in action, like just I don't know how to move forward. So it's like I'm not going to
Mm.
do anything. And then it's just like asking, who do I have to be or who am I being in order to be experiencing these results in my life? It's just a process of curiosity and wonder. Is it
Mm.
um it's all up to me? Is it, it's there is a certain process, but it's also
Mm.
just like, yeah, like what lens, what perspective must I be looking through
Mm.
in order to create like this reality or the results that I'm
Yeah,
experiencing? And it's
asking
like this
yourself like
detective
how
work.
how am I creating this right now? Like how am I
Yeah,
creating this sense of stuckness
totally. And
that
it's
you can
also, it's so important is not from a lens of blame, shame, or guilt. It's
Mm.
truly from a lens of wonder and curiosity, right? Because, so the energetics is just
Mm.
so important. The state in which you are in and asking these questions are so important because the thing is there's nothing wrong with us. There's nothing wrong with any of us, right? And a lot of times we're doing that because, hello,
I
I'm
could like
speaking.
burst into tears like some of the things you're saying. It's just like there's nothing wrong with us.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with us, right? And for me that was like again a huge like I just that was a lens, that was a perspective of like, searching, needing to fix and find it out because there was something wrong with me.
Mm.
And many of us, if not like, yeah, a majority like have some sort of, similar lens or perspective, right? That energetically it impacts us. Yeah, just sinking into that and just getting into more of a curiosity wonder state. It could be through breath work. It could be through doing maybe yoga or some stretching and movement. But any way you can really get into this more calm, relaxed state, right? Like a walk in nature. For me, it's like being
Singing.
totally singing, dancing. Anyway, like for me, being out in nature is just so incredibly meditative and calming. It really is like balm for my nervous system. And
Mhm.
so yeah, so getting into that state and, asking these wonder questions like, oh, I wonder, again, in curiosity of how is like trying to connect the dots of like, how
Mm.
must I be looking at something in order for it to be contributing to the thoughts I'm thinking, how I'm feeling, how I'm behaving or not behaving, and then contributing to the stuckness that is like what I'm experiencing.
And what I'm hearing too is the answers will come. It's asking yourself the question, but in that state of calm, finding those balms for the nervous system. I love that. Like the place in nature that just helps you relax so you can hear yourself answer that from a place of love and not shame, or that you aren't aware of this answer already, and just being open enough to listen, because I wholeheartedly believe that like the answers are within. It's just trusting that sense of that, and believing, and then listening.
That is it, girl. Like we have all the answers within. And that's why I just call myself a guide because I just hold that space and ask like the just powerful questions in order for these answers to come through. Like it's not me telling anyone, it's me just holding the space and asking really powerful questions in order for whoever I'm supporting to have these insights come through.
With song,
Right.
with spoken word, and you have that poem I would love to hear too. These are the parts that I feel also. I mean, you can say guide, and I agree with that term, but there's there's your essence, there's the space that only Raquel can create. I would love to hear the poem
Yeah. Okay.
if you're
So yeah, so this is a poem that came through that really talks about that moment back when I was 29 years old of like
Mhm.
just being helpless, hopeless, what do I do? And just like stuck. I was like very stuck. And so it goes like this. How can I be so unfulfilled, I thought? I'm doing what I'm told and doing my very best, walking chartered paths towards this illusion of success. While marking check boxes towards his and hers esteem, isn't it this way to living the American dream? I went the college route, then a successful title to boot. How significant I must be. Engaged to be married, a mortgage to be carried, all wrapped in a pretty bow. Emptiness was inside that box that I would never let show. I have everything I thought I could want, then why and how am I so blue? There must be something wrong with me, a very subtle clue. And so, after many nights feeling helpless, hopeless, and in despair, I heard a message that brought some spaciousness and an answer to a prayer.
Mhm.
I have a choice, were the profound words I heard. And not only did I hear those words, every cell in my body felt them too. That brought about massive relief from this full body proof.
Mm.
You see, I was living in a world where I don't have a say. I should do this, I must do that, I have to's were the way. A paradigm shift to have a choice and the ability to respond was the key to the prison I had locked myself in with my words as my wand.
Mm.
After revealing this blind spot, my life shifted as a result from seeing through new eyes. And so rather than playing out this lie, it was time to let I don't have a choice burn to ashes and die.
Yes. What is that poem called? Does it have a name?
Let's see.
burned to
Oh
ash
no, I know.
going in my head right now.
Yeah, death of the ego. That was another huge, profound shift for me, was around like death of the ego. And when I say death of the ego, I truly see, especially after my mother's, her soul leaving her body, death like in a completely different way. I truly see it as like a new beginning, right? It's just a transformation, transmutation of energy, right? It is a portal into a different form, right? And so for me, when I say, and what came through is like embrace the death of the ego, it's like allow it to integrate, allow it to change form and shape. That visual I got was like get the ego out of the front seat and like back,
Mhm.
not let it be the driver anymore and like in the back seat,
Mhm.
and so it's very much like the energetics of that, like not death, it's bad, you shouldn't have it. It's like we're human, we have egos, and it's just about um embracing it and working with it and not letting it like overpower and overrun because Mila's asking her for something.
It comes
Yes.
to the death of the ego and like seeing you holding your beautiful child and knowing that you didn't marry the first man, was that part of that opening and seeing this new life and this new human that ended up becoming the husband you do have today? And was that kind of the foundation as you were building and letting go of that second agency job, like just to kind of bring the story?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was still very much in the world of it's not safe to be me.
Mm,
When I met my husband, and I was very still, this is all unconscious, looking a certain way, being a certain way. In meeting him, he was the first person that truly like cracked me open.
mm,
And it was the first time that I felt true like intimacy, but meaning like deep connection, of like allowing someone in and truly, seeing me. He had shared his struggles with stuttering. It was, within a couple months of us being together, and I was like, wait, like you do this in relationships, like you share, like it was so foreign to
on
me,
your
like
heart. Yeah.
legit. It was so foreign to me that you actually like share these certain things with people, especially like when you're dating. It literally cracked me open and I felt so connected to him. That was just became the foundation of our relationship of just being like real, raw, open,
Mm.
honest.
That even helped him not stutter. He had his own judgment of himself
For
that he
sure.
was sharing with you in that beautiful.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not he's done so much work on himself that it's not even an issue in his
Yeah.
life anymore. And that's like just a miracle and a journey in itself of that full self-acceptance and not identifying with the stuttering, right? And that's like
Yes.
goodness, I could go on for
Mhm.
like literally hours about that. But essentially, the only point that I want to bring to that is the importance of not identifying with like our dis-ease, not identifying with like, if we like happen to have some like speech impediment that like I am a stutterer or like I am an alcoholic, right? I do not agree with like identifying with these certain
Mhm.
things because then they become a part of who you are when I just don't believe that is helpful personally.
We are
Yeah, and
unboxable.
yeah, we are limitless. We are expansive. To identify with certain things in that way, I just feel like is very limiting. It does constrain our capacity. Yeah, I mean, he really helped crack me open. And for me, I looked at it as like vulnerability, but now authenticity and vulnerability I look at completely separately, like because vulnerability to me was more of like I thought there was something wrong with me and like
Mm.
just that energetics of like ooh, I'm sharing something that like I don't
Yeah.
really want,
Oh,
yeah, and it's
yeah.
like no, hell no. And so for me now it's just like yeah, I just speak openly, freely, share because I'm just being me. I'm just
Mhm.
authentic and not from that space of like there's something wrong or like ooh, this is vulnerable because I don't want people to know this about me or like I'm ashamed about it or I have
And
guilt
now
about it, right?
and now you have women
Yes.
circles where you're supporting. This all makes beautiful sense of I believe
Yes.
we are called to do the work that's in our soul, that's in our mission, and the experiences we go through in life are part of what give us what we have to offer in those spaces.
100%. I always say that. I teach what I most need to learn,
Mm,
right? It's like my messages is what like I most needed to learn in my life. One other thing that you had mentioned you wanted to chat about was perhaps, yeah, let me just finish up here. The example of like when I truly felt my capacity to shift. You want me
yes.
to go into that? Because
I
that's
would
actually
love to hear that.
very much
That's like where
related.
I'm at right now in my life is like, okay, I'm capacity building right now. Like
Yes,
I'm where I wanted to be. And now it's like, ooh, I gotta hold this.
totally.
Everything I've
Yes.
created is here.
Yes. It's massive.
Hello. Hello. Yep. You wanted to talk to Aura? Okay, hold on. It's for you, honey. Hold on, I can't do it with my it's the banana phone. Do you want to take this
Do
call or should I tell him you're busy? No, sorry, she's
you want to go get your
right now.
banana phone?
Should I call you back? Okay.
Do you want to go get your
I
banana?
told him you'll call him back.
Back to when I did the mastermind with Peter Crone and I got coached, it was like the first session. He helped bring to awareness just my sort of world that I was living in where it's not safe to be me. And that was about a little over a year ago. And I realized that like safety was a huge sort of, like, yeah, sort of part of like what I like part of my journey to work through, really. But I hadn't realized there was just something about the way he held space. And I tend to intellectualize a lot and not truly allow myself to like feel. It's definitely just, yeah, just something I usually am like very mindful of like rather than intellectualizing and like being like logical of like really truly feeling something and the impact. And that's also what I really help people do because,
Mm,
rather than for me, I found that I was like spiritual bypassing a little bit, of like
yes.
not embracing my human experience and the true like terror and how much like fear. And so
Feeling into that and
just
allowing
feeling into
yourself to
it,
actually
right?
access
When he brought this to my awareness, I was like, wow, like, yes. And truly, like, holding space for that little girl, like, my terrified,
it. Mm,
scared, just, yeah, what that was like, and really being with
wow.
these parts of myself that I abandoned for so long that I, again, intellectualized like, oh, I'm 44 years old, like I should be over that, just like these things
Should.
that we
Mhm.
do, right? Um, and so that was the first time when that came to my awareness of this beautiful process of having just so much love and compassion and like going to the depths of feeling the terror and really truly understanding what the younger me went through and how all of these like stories and these things that I made up were created.
Mm,
And so before that, getting in front of a group to like speak, not so much like the women's circles, but more so just like even when I was in advertising, like getting up in front of a group, I do it, but the amount of energy it took and like preparing, it was just exhausting,
mm.
right? And it's like sometimes I would just black out with so much
Yeah.
fear that it was
It's not
just
safe
not
to be.
enjoyable. It's
Yeah.
not enjoyable. And so within the last year, really like going through the journey of, increasing my capacity to truly like feel safe to be seen, her express like in my full authenticity, like who I
Oh, that
am.
video with you with one of your clients, she's an influencer, Sky Cowens, like that
Yeah.
you that video, it was you. It was totally you, so calm, so grounded, so centered. I actually watch it because it inspires me, like the way you showed do the RTT work, just what you're doing in that state. Like I've never seen it done. But yes, I felt you in
Thank you.
authentic self. I mean, did you feel like that was an example of it
For
took a lot of
sure.
energy or not?
No, it didn't. And the thing is I can sort of explain like the cascade leading up to that because
Yeah.
I was signed up for a talk at Common Crow. I prepared a presentation and I didn't obsess over it, right? And that morning when I was getting ready for the presentation, it was almost like I was anticipating anxiety and like, okay, like what this is so different than my normal being, right? And I prepared a talk that I was really excited about. Yes. So, I was about to give this talk and I just found that my beingness, my energy, everything about, you know, just the thoughts, the feelings, yes, everything had shifted. And in that moment, I like began to pray because I noticed how
Mm.
significant this was. And so I began to pray and I was like, Divine Creator, please use me as a channel to serve. Like I felt my capacity shift. I was like, I'm ready. Like I am ready. And that is when I got that text message from Sky, right? What's so amazing is she saw me the way that like I hadn't seen myself yet, right? And it's like it was again the universe like, okay, I was asking like finally, not finally, it because it happened in perfect timing, my capacity to hold for what I was asking for, aligned with like what I was asking the universe for. There's no coincidence that she texted me in that moment, right, of quantum entanglement,
Yeah,
right?
there is no time.
It's like,
It was all at once.
and so I was like, oh, I forgot to silence my phone. I wonder who that was.
Oh, it was literally in that moment
It
where you
was
were
in that
praying.
moment.
Ah,
Well,
you even heard it buzz, that like echo, but you didn't look until
yes,
after. Oh, I love
yes.
this.
It was in
This
that
is
moment.
everything.
Okay. It's everything.
So
Life will
powerful.
support you if you're willing and open to be supported.
Mm.
Okay. And ask. It's like that is for me.
I want to say amen. I'm like, not to, but to the
Yes.
source, this
Yes.
divine, this understanding that that is it. Ask and you shall receive. It is already given.
Yes. After just like soaking in just this like significance of this moment, feeling my capacity completely had shifted. So then when I had looked at my phone, it was Sky and she had reached out. She had, said, I'm home. I would love to work with you. Essentially it was that like, I want to work with you again. This time I want to document. It was really powerful. I want to do an interview to really like understand how did that happen that we did that work and then I received a check for $5,000.
Like, what
Yeah,
just happened?
totally. Her capacity shifted, right? To be able to hold and receive that.
Our capacity has shifted since then, too. Since working
Yes.
with you,
Oh,
I've
for
been following
sure.
her.
Absolutely. Yes. And so that's what's just so
Wow.
powerful. We all have blind spots, including myself, through a different energetic frequency of like just wanting to know myself so deeply and intimately and alchemize and transmute any sort of just darkness or just these lies that have been in my psyche and my consciousness,
But there's gold. There's gold in that understanding.
Exactly. And that's what it is. And so that is why I'm like, I have found my thing. It is just like, it is, I am so lit up and I learn so much from each person that I work with. It's like, as their capacity increases, I can
Mhm.
feel mine.
Mm.
It is just so freeing and it's like I feel so blessed to be able to support people in the way that I do, getting better and better.
I feel that way with what happened for me when you invited me to do the full moon circles with you on the beach. I almost didn't say yes right away. There was just something in me that was like, am I ready for this? But then this other voice was like, Osha, dancing on the beach. You love this. That's what you do all the time. She's inviting you to do this with a bunch of people. Say yes. Like there was just this voice like you can't, like yes was the only answer. And since then, so much has shifted. So I'm grateful to you choosing to have a choice, making those steps, continuously doing the work that is joyful because it's the work to understand you. It's so beautiful. This human you've brought into this world because of choices you've made, that's now a bestie of my daughter. This whole life is unfolding in ways that I could never have imagined. I imagine things and but the experience and the way I feel, it's my heart is so full. So thank you so much, Raquel. This has been so wonderful and enlightening and inspiring and so powerful.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say thank you and just send so much appreciation and gratitude to you. There's a reason why I had asked you to do the full moon dance party, right? It's just you radiate this joy and just your frequency is just pure love and joy and fun and excitement, right? And so I totally see that within you, and that is a superpower of yours, and
Yes.
it's really contagious. And so I just want to honor and acknowledge you for that. How your presence is just so contagious.
Mm, thank you. And so If any of you are called to go deeper and you want to connect with Raquel, you can go to her website, raqueldarowe.com. And if you're local, you can enjoy some of these fun events. And I hope today's conversation inspires you to just pause, reflect, take even one small step towards living in alignment with your truth so that you can experience a super bloom too. And so thank you all for tuning in. If you loved this episode, please share it with a friend, leave a review. It helps other people find these conversations. And so until next time, just keep listening to your inner wisdom and walking that path towards your most authentic self. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Yes, we did it.
Woohoo!